Well, hello racing fans, and welcome to our Gallop TV preview show for Saturday, the 12th of October. It's Hollywoodbets Durbanville. I trust that you, the valued racing fan, is well looking forward to the weekend. It's a doubleheader on this Saturday. We race at the Big T and at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. First up will be Hollywoodbets Durbanville at 12 o'clock and then the Big T at 12:20. So lots of action over the weekend. For you, the valued racing fan, along with everything else that's on Gallop TV, your home of KZN and Cape Racing and your gateway to international racing. Graham Hawkins is on the line. Graham, another busy weekend. And how are you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks. Looking forward to a busy weekend. Looking forward in particular to this race meeting at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. The reappearance of One Stripe and Snow Pilot, Bjorn Ironside in Cape Town, all with their eyes on the Guineas. Of course, Snow Pilot gears up his engines for the King's Plate. He's last season's Guineas winner. Captain Arrow comes back off a very facile win in the last race. Lots of nice bets on the card, I think, mixed in with a couple of very competitive racing.
Well, as Graham mentioned, some plated races to come, quality on the day, and we'll get to that a bit later. But let's begin. We'll get straight into it. 12 o'clock race number 1, maiden plate, 1,400 meters the distance. As always, we'll give you a guide with regards to betting, anti-post, that is, horses in single figures. Number 4 is at 6 to 1. We got an odds-on shot here, Graham, in number 8, Major Master. And that has attracted some betting support, now trading at 5 to 10. And then we got horse number 11, which is at 7 to 1. So in the first race, 7 to 10 into 11 to 20, Major Master. Is that the way to go? Go with the restrictive price and try and build on that throughout the meeting?
You and I have both been waiting for Candice Bass-Robinson to fully hit her straps, and I think this could be the day. She's got a number of outstanding runners throughout the 10-race card, and it starts right here in the first race with number 8, Major Master. Wonderful debut from a bad draw, running on from near the back of the field. Not that well drawn either this time. As you say, has found solid anti-post market support as if the result is already known. I think Major Master is going to get punters off on the front foot. Hard to beat. He's bred by the Lammerscroll stud. They also bred number 4, Western World, who's probably the biggest danger to number 8, Major Master. Respect for numbers 5, Pinot Grigio, and 11, Secret Passage. I think multiple quartet is probably the way to go here. 8 by 4 for first, second, then 5 and 11 for third and fourth. Take your chances. Let's hope for a form result. I'm expecting Major Master to win.
Okay, you got it. The green light from Graham on 8, Major Master, that is, and we'll see how that quartet and trifecta works out. He's given his thoughts on the minor positions. The exotics will begin in race number 2 at 12:35. This will be the start of the bipod. It's a maiden plate for fillies and mares. The distance is 1,400 meters. And we'll get into the field and the betting shortly. Well, number 1 is at 8 to 1. And we move along to number 4, which has the blinkers on, Graham, if you haven't had that equipment change. 5 is at 11 to 2. 7 has got the tongue tie on, 8 to 1. And we then have 2 runners that are tight in the betting. Not much separates them. 11 at 5 to 2 and number 12 at 2 to 1. Note that Aldo Damaya is plus half a kg on Candice Bass-Robinson's runner here in race number 2. What are we doing in the bipod, Graham? Are we again, playing with the horses that seem to dominate the betting, or are we looking for cover?
I think we're playing with the horses that dominate the betting. I'm a little uneasy that they're drawn out in gates numbers 11 and 12. That's Tap Shoes and Diamond Bomber. If you wish to add one more, I would add in number 5, 2Gs. But let's get back to the top 2 in the market. Number 12, Diamond Bomber, also from the Candice Bass-Robinson stable, does bring the stronger form into the race, stronger than that of number 11, Tap Shoes. But Tap Shoes is a full sister to Zapatias, has only had the one start, and improvement is likely. She wasn't an inexpensive purchase. She cost 1.3 million at the sales. She'll have benefited from that first run. So I think you've got to respect both numbers 11, Tap Shoes, and 12, Diamond Bomber. The draw is a little bit of a worry. Of the two, I prefer number 12, Diamond Bomber, but not convincingly so. I do have respect for number 5, 2Gs from a better draw off the back of that debut. I think will improve a ton. Interesting that the tongue tie goes a number 7 time in Paris. Her last run was not a form. In a penultimate run, when running fourth behind Mon Petit Cherie, she was only a length behind Oktoberfest, who was third that day. We saw that Oktoberfest came out to win over the weekend. So I think time in Paris, although limited, she is a 4-year-old. She's been very sparingly raced. The tongue tie might make a difference. She could certainly get into the fray. But I'm expecting that 11 Tap Shoes and 12 Diamond Bomber would be enough to get us through the first leg of the bipot. If you want to add one more, number 5, 2Gs.
I'm just keeping an eye on the scratchings here as we move along to race number 3. Number 1 is a scratching here in race number 3. And Graham, you can just update your form guide because it just happened now. Beyond Einstein is out of race number 8 at the time of recording. So it's a live show, keeping an eye on the scratching. Beyond Einstein will not take his part in race number 8. That is the latest scratching, and it's happened while we're recording the show, which, as you've come to know, is a day before. So race number 3, number 1 is out, so there will be adjustments in the betting. I'm just going to give you the betting prior to the adjustment. Number 2 at 18-10, number 3 at 4-1, 4 is at 9-2, 10 at 9-2. And there will be some adjustments because number 1 was trading, as I mentioned, at around 15-2 at the time of recording. So, what are we, 18-10 here, Graham? You know, you at the top of the show, you introduced Candace Bass Robinson as possibly the stable to follow. She'll be looking for a good day. Along with race number 1, does this look to be one of her better runners on the day?
Yes, he does. Number 2, Master of the Desert, 1,000 meters, 2 runs back, was a good third from way back in the field. Followed that up over 12.50 with another third placing behind Arctic Wizard, went backed into odds on. The form can be questioned, but this is not a deep race either. Stepping up to 1,400 meters, more experience now. I'm expecting number 2, Master of the Desert, to get the job done. That being said, there's a bit of talk around and also a bit of money around for number 3, Tunguska, who's only had the 1 start. That was back in June when 5th behind World Craft. That was quite a strong race. I watched the replay again yesterday. Was given a soft introduction, but hit the line hard, the son of Var. Drawn well alongside Master of the Desert with the scratching of Dawn's Early Light. They're coming to gate numbers 1 and 2. So Master of the Desert, the clear top choice. But keep an eye on number 3, Tunguska. And if there's follow through, then you've certainly got to increase the measure of respect that you have for the son of Var. I think those two are too strong for number 4, Water Dragon, and number 10, Chief Runner, but they can get involved in the exactas, trifectas, and quartets. Water Dragon has had many chances. Gavin Arena's in town to ride for the Vaughan Marshall stable because he rides 1 stripe a little later on. And maybe he can get a tune out of Water Dragon, but he's been largely disappointing. So 2, Master of the Desert from 3, Tunguska. The only other 2 that are really worth a mention are 4, Water Dragon, and 10, Chief Runner.
I hear you about the big W of 3 against 2, but for the place accumulator, I think safe to say that 2 will be in the top 3.
I would say so, yes. I've made him a bipod banker, notwithstanding the presence of Tunguska, and certainly a place accumulator banker. I'd be shocked if he didn't end up in the top 3.
Okay, that's it. That's what we like to hear. Place accumulator begins at 13.10. We got the banker there in race number 3. Race number 4, 13.45. This is the pick 6, and it's the Greg Enyon syndicate. Greg Enyon, well played. If you listen to the show, your stable's in excellent form, one must add. 2,000 meters. Number 1, King Palace at 2-1. 2, Navy Strength at 5-1. We got a 15-10 shot here, Graham, in race number 4, and it's horse number 3. Then number 5 at 3-1. And yeah, that is it. That's the small field in 6 runners that go to post. Is the right horse at the top of the boards at 15-10, followed by number 1 at 2-1?
Yes, I do think that Damio is entitled to be favourite. He's got good, solid form. He's still improving. He's a bit of a late developer. He only put his act together quite late in his career. He is a 4-year-old now, but he's certainly heading in the right direction. Richard Fourie rides Damio for the first time. JP van der Merwe has been Damio's regular partner in recent runs, and he gets aboard number 2, Navy Strength, not because he's jumped ship, but because he's got a ride for Greg Bortz. But Navy Strength certainly has strong claims in a competitive little race in which the pace could determine the outcome. King Pelez definitely warrants respect, and Give Me More Time. They met on the 3rd of September. Damio ran second to Call to Unite the same day. King Pelez in the same race ran third, less than a length behind Damio, and just a little behind them was Give Me More Time. So you could pretty much throw a blanket over King Pelez, Damio, and Give Me More Time. Damio was slightly ahead of them, but we know that form, depending on pace and other factors in a small field, may not necessarily translate literally into this race. So I've got healthy respect for all 4 runners. 1 King Pelez, 2 Navy Strength, 3 Damio, and 5 Give Me More Time. I think Marshall Field could need the run, and Greg Ennin, as you say, the race is named after his stable. He's got coronation time in the race. And he could surprise, but 1, 2, 3, and 5, I've put all 4 into the bipod, taking no chances. But if you push me into a corner for a top selection, I would go with the favourite number 3, Damio.
Okay, Graham's tipping 4 runners, and that is more than half the field, yeah, in leg 1 of the pick 6. So you're going to have to be the judge on how you're going to play it. Are you just going to include the field, sit back, and just go on to leg number 2, because that is what happens when you put in the field. You are safe. Jackpot 1 begins in race number 5. It's 14.25. It's over 2,000 meters. Number 1 at 11-2. Horse number 2 at 9-2. We got number 3 at 9-2. The earmuffs are off. Was carded with earmuffs. Number 4, Flying Bomb. That's out. 6, Courtly. This is a 9-10 shot. Courtly, Justin Snaith, and Richard Fourie. And then we have an 8-1 shot. We'll race with the blinkers off. That's Brett Crawford's runner, horse number 8. Blinkers are off there. 9-10, Courtly. I think when I look at the opposition, Graham, I can realistically see why the bookmakers have got this one tight at 9-10, because the one thing I will say is that the extra distance of 200 meters will pose no problem. And the fact that the horse was quietly fancied last time out, 8-1 into 5-1, this could be the right race. So 9-10, maybe a realistic price for a few.
Nap of the day for me, D's. Nap of the day, banker in all bets. Number 6, Courtly, lightly raced. As you say, the further he goes, the better he'll be. He's an impressive-looking son of Activor. He covers a lot of ground. He moves really well. And I'm confidently expecting him to blow this field away. He's got both Congressman and Dream a Little Dream held on the Commander Green form line. Sansa Stark is quite well weighted as in this race, but she's had 16 starts in the maiden ranks and hasn't succeeded yet. So I'd be surprised if she was able to overturn number 6, Courtly. So for me, short and simple, the nap of the day, all in or all out in race 5.
Okay, you heard it from Graham. We have got 5 out of 5 or 10 out of 10 or whatever you want to mark this out of with number 6, Courtly. And that form line is held up as well with Happy Days coming out to win from that form line. Just the 2 runners with the winner thus far. And everything does point to horse number 6, Courtly. So that's race number 5, Jackpot 1. We got a banker. We got a banker in the pick 6 and whatever exotics you are playing as we move along to race number 6. And we are celebrating Cape Racing's chairman, Mr. Greg Bott's birthday. It's over 1,800 meters. Happy birthday to you, Greg, and hopefully you have a wonderful day. I don't know if it's Greg's birthday on the day or they're just celebrating his birthday. Maybe Graham knows a bit about that. But number 2 at 9-2, number 5 at 15-10. And the ideal result on the chairman's birthday will be number 6, Lickety Split. Why, you may ask? Well, he owns it. And of course, JP van der Merwe writes for him. We'll be hoping to deliver that perfect birthday gift. Number 7, 9-2, 8 is at 7-1. I don't know if it is Greg's birthday on the day, Graham, or it's just a celebration of his birthday.
To be honest, I'm not 100% certain, but I'm sure if Lickety Split it will add, was to win this race, then it will add to the celebrations of Greg's birthday. This race is Trappy D's. I think the betting is a bit lopsided. I do have healthy respect for number 5, Enchanting Choice. She returns to the course and distance where she won her maiden. That was just about a year ago on the 24th of October. She's, of course, won since and been placed many times. But 16 to 10 and pretty much 9 to 2 and 5 to 1 bar the 1. I might be reading this race wrong, but I've thrown the field into the bipod. I think it's that trappy. We're looking for a bit of a result here, especially if we get away with Courtly as a confident banker in the prior race. So I'm not minimizing the chances of number 5, Enchanting Choice. I just think the betting is a little lopsided. Interestingly, that Richard Faree gets aboard the Dean Canamere trained filly. He's never ridden her before. And he'll give her every chance. But to me, the form doesn't stack up to be a 16 to 10 favourite. I would imagine she's going to drift approaching race time. There might be money for one or two others, but it's hard to nail your colours to the mast in this race. There's so many with chances. I'm not going to go through them all. I think the value in the race lies with number 4, 2 a penny. She's won 3 times from 6 starts over the distance. She's taken on the boys in her last couple of runs. She reeled off 3 in a row earlier this season. She does have 62 to carry, but I think she's slightly overpriced at around 10 to 1. But there are many with chances. So, trappy race. I've got the field in the bipod, as you'll see later on. Virtually impossible to draw a line through any of them. So I'm just hoping for a bit of a result. I don't want to wish anybody bad luck in any race. I'm not swinging on Enchanting Choice's tail, but I just think she's unrealistically priced up.
Okay, we all love good stories, especially those stories where the stars are aligned and it's the fairy tale to the day. And this could be one for the chairman, Mr. Greg Botts. The form is always key, but we're always looking for other factors to try and fill in the blanks and join the dots, as they say. And some punters may say, well, you've given it to us, 11 to 2. We'll be celebrating with Mr. Botts on his birthday, number 6, Lickety Split. Let's see if the 11 to 2 lasts. Personally, I think the way the name is, of the race being named, and Greg having a runner, 11 to 2 may be a gift for many out there. But as Graham said, 15 to 10 on the favorite does look vulnerable, and I must agree with him. Race number 7, jackpot 2, 1400 meters. Number 1 at 9 to 2, 2 at 9 to 2, 3 is at 8 to 1, 6 at 5 to 1, 7 is at 5 to 1, 9 is at 5 to 1. The first thing I will say in this race, Graham, when I had a look at the field and the form that's represented, whatever the result in this race, it could possibly be a nice form line to follow, Graham.
No doubt about it, Dees. This is a good race. This is a good Class 4 fillies and mares handicap over 1,400 meters. And you need to consider all of 6 runners. Numbers 1, Beware the Bomb, and 2, My Sensation. They have decent draws on their side. 6, Scarlet McCaw, 7, Golden Angel, 9, Polynomial, 10, Spoil Yourself, who beat Little Susie last time out, and Little Susie came out to frack the form in no uncertain terms, and they're talking about the fillies guineas for Little Susie. This is a strong race. I believe, on what I've seen to date, that number 6, Scarlet McCaw, probably brings the strongest form into the race, but only marginally so. My Sensation, her maiden win was good at her second start. Of course, Wild Applause didn't do much for that form line. You can make the same comment about Beware the Bomb. Back at the George didn't do much for that form line either. Golden Angel is progressive. Polynomial looks way above average. So it's difficult to narrow this field down, but I think it comes in at less than half the field. If you go with those 6 runners, or just about in half the field, I would be surprised if the winner came out outside of those 6. My hesitant first choice, I'm going back to the Candice Bass Robinson stable. I think that Scarlet McCaw will give us a very good run. But this is a nice race. It's a competitive race, and as you've mentioned, it's a form line to follow. Slight preference for Scarlet McCaw, healthy respect for Polynomial. Those would be my top 2 ahead of number 2, My Sensation. But any one of those 6 that I've mentioned, I wouldn't be surprised if any of them won.
Well, I've written my roving banker down here, Graham, and it matches with yours. Number 6, Scarlet McCaw, is my roving banker as well. So in agreement with Graham over this race, that should be a nice quartet to catch, especially if you try and narrow things down and get it with the minimum spent. Well, Graham, at the top of this preview did mention there's some quality on the card. Well, there is it, race number 8, a progress plate. It's over 1,400 meters. We'll refer to the best weighted column once I get through the betting. And remember that I did tell you that Beyond Ironside was scratched during our recording of the show. So whether there are adjustments or not, we'll see. But number 2 at 14 to 10, number 3 at 8 to 1, horse number 4 at 7 to 2, and then number 7 at 17 to 10. The best weighted column, Graham, does paint a very different picture from what the fixed odds betting market has it at. I say this because, as we know, that Snow Pilot is the older horse at a 123, and then we have number 4 at a 101, 2 at 100, and number 1 at 99. Clearly best weighted is Snow Pilot, but that's at 17 to 10 Graham. And then the very talented horse that you gave a lot of airtime during last season when he used to race down in the Cape. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see him during our KZN champion season. His name is One Stripe. He's trading at 14 to 10. Graham, I just want to pick your brain on how they priced this up. 17 to 10 and 14 to 10. 14 to 10 being the younger horse.
I'm sure that it wasn't easy to price up this race because current well-being and current fitness in every case is just an important unknown. Obviously, as you mentioned, Bjorn Ironside out, that further enhances in terms of the best weighted column Snow Pilot's dominance in the race. Last season's Guineas winner, is this an early clash with number 2, One Stripe, who's been widely touted as this season's Guineas winner? Well, this is an important test for One Stripe because he missed his engagement in the Langerman due to the dreaded TCO2 testing, and we were denied the opportunity of seeing him go around the bend. We were denied the opportunity of seeing just how far he will extend his brilliance after winning 3 on the bounce down the lane at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. Now, spoke to Vaughan Marshall. One Stripe has had a grass gallop. That was at the public gallops on the 17th of last month, and he is in a good space. He's come on from that gallop, and he's expecting him to win. That's how confident Vaughan Marshall. He's expecting him to win. He does not discount the chances of number 4, All Out for 6. Nice horse, but he prefers, obviously, despite the 3 kilogram difference in the weights, he prefers number 2, One Stripe. But then I also chatted to Justin Snay. Snow Pilot hasn't had a grass gallop, but he's got him as fit and as well as he can without having had a grass gallop. He believes his class can pull him through. So we have an intriguing race here. I think you've got to ignore the complete dominance of Snow Pilot in the best weighted column. But that being said, if One Stripe can give weight to him, an established Grade 1 winner and a beating at about 7.5 kilograms worse terms and weight for race, then One Stripe is well on his way to being a very popular choice in this year's renewal of the Hollywoodbets Cape Guineas. This is a fascinating race. Now down to 6 runners. The pace could be a factor. Snaith also said to me that Underworld has had the benefit of a recent run. He's not that well weighted, but his fitness could give him a chance in a race like this. Talk to the Masters, also headed for the Guineas. But so quite who's going to be favourite as we approach race time is difficult to say. But there's confidence behind number 2, One Stripe. There's confidence behind number 7, Snow Pilot. Whatever the outcome, I think we're in for a hell of a race.
Well, Graham, you've said it all. You've summed it up beautifully there between numbers 2 and 7 with regards to weight. You've given us some feedback. You've chatted to both trainers, and you've given us your thought process on what you think the outcome could be. So this is going to be it. And 2, One Stripe versus 7, Snow Pilot, and then sandwich in between could be Vaughan Marshall's runner number 4, All Out for 6. So, well, it is going to be one of the races of the day. And we know we're racing alongside the Big T, but jot this time down. You don't want to miss this race, guys. 16:10, 10 past 4 over that 1,400-meter trip at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. As we move along to race number 9, it's over 1,000 meters. Number 1, Hollywoodbets 16 to 1 into 10 to 1. That's the anti-post support for Glenn Cotson's runner. Horse number 2 at 9 to 2, 3 at 8 to 1, 4 at 5 to 1, 6 is at 5 to 1. And then the Abdicator is trading at 15 to 10. And we know that his last 2 races, whilst he's run good races, he has let the followers down, those that have gone for him as favorite. Number 8, the Abdicator. What are we doing here, Graham? We're closing off the pick 6 and the place accumulator in race number 9. How many numbers would you be confident with if you are running, or are you all in with number 8?
No, I can't be all in with number 8. The Abdicator clearly has solid form. He clearly is the one to beat. He's got 61 to shoulder. He's drawn one off the outside, but he's got enough gate speed to overcome the draw. But there are a few that could test him. One Blue Holly, forget her last run. She'll go better here out of pole position, but she's only in receipt of 4 kilograms from the Abdicator, which makes her test a little tougher. Handsome Prince, we haven't seen since August when he had his first start as a gelding. He will improve, although could find 1,000 meters on the sharp side. Both Mojo Man and, in particular, Dean Street warrant a measure of respect, as does Nordic Chief. So it's not that easy. I do think that the Abdicator is the one to beat. I'm hoping that Richard Free will take no prisoners. From the draw, I'm hoping he'll commit and pretty much go flat out and hope he hangs on. They've been trying to hold him together. In his penultimate start, they rode him with a bit of restraint. Didn't really work. He was beaten by Nordic Chief, who reopposes. Yeah, as you say, he was solidly backed on that occasion. Last time out, he was restrained in the early stages. Yes, he moved up briefly to head the field halfway up the straight, but he was already under pressure. Captain Arrow swept past him with ease, and Tyrion Lannister in the end was just behind the Abdicator. So I'm hoping, win, lose or draw, I'm hoping that they give the Abdicator his head from the word go and play catch me if you can, because that's the way I think he might be able to win this race despite top weight. But if he starts wobbling in the closing stages, then there are a few that could chase him down, the most notable being Dean Street, Nordic Chief and Blue Holly. So you've got to make your own decision here as to whether you're all in with number 8, the Abdicator. I would run for a bit of cover. Certainly in the last leg of the place accumulator and the last leg of the pick 6. So it's not an easy race. It's not going to be easy for the Abdicator, but I do think he is the best horse in the race.
A lot of speed in this race. Wow, there's a lot of speed in this race. And number 8, the Abdicator, and if he does get over and get to the front, Graham's saying that could be possibly his best chance of knocking this field over. But there's a lot of speed in the race. It's a tricky race, and hopefully things fall into place in whatever bet you've taken. That closes off in race number 9. Race number 10 is where we will close things off, and we should end, if we go to time, 17:20, 20 past 5. It's over 1,000 meters. Number 2 at 28 to 10, and number 1 at 33 to 10, number 2 at 28 to 10. Horse number 3 at 4 to 1, 4 is a scratch, 5 at 7 to 1, 14 to 10 about Candice Bass, Robinson's runner. She's got some fancied runners in the early part of the meeting, and she's got the favorite to hopefully close things off on what could be a successful day for the yard if things go to plan. Number 6 at 14 to 10, and then that's it. Well, I don't know when last I've seen this name in the race card, the name of Binda in Cape Town, Graham, but he's got 2 runners here, and just as an equipment change, both horses, numbers 2 and 7, will race unshod. But nice to see that name in the race card down in the Western Cape, the name of Clinton. Binda is his surname.
Yes, nice to have Clinton Binder in town. 2 runners, as you mentioned, for the Hollywood Syndicate. Just to repeat, both will race unshod. I'm not sure if he forgot to pack the Alamites when he took the aeroplane out of Johannesburg, but he often runs them that way. On a serious note, Zayasha brings really nice form into the race. Not going to be easy on 61.5, but he's got a draw. He's got Richard Faree, and so you have to respect number 2 Ziyasha in the small field, as you do have to respect number 1 Dance Variety, who's probably one of the most consistent sprinters around. He hasn't raced since 20th of April though, and for that reason Captain Arrow is a confident first choice for me. His course and distance form speaks volumes. 4 starts, 2 wins, 2 seconds. I think the fact that he's had a recent run when he blew the Abdicator away. It'll be interesting to see how the Abdicator goes in the previous race. I'm confidently going to bank in number 6, Captain Arrow, Jackpot 2 as the closing leg, and look for a bit of cover in the first 3 legs. So Captain Arrow for me to bookend the race meeting for Candice Bass Robinson. As I say, I think she's going to have a nice day. She could have 3 or 4 winners, at least hopefully 2 for the stable. Seeking the Stars, 1,000 meters, first time. He goes this trip, and he could be fast enough to be effective enough. Icy Blast on best form also has a say. So It's a trappy little race if you're going to look past Captain Arrow, but I'm expecting Captain Arrow, with the benefit of that last run, over a course and distance that he appears to love, at just 55.5 on his back, I'm expecting him to win. Dance Variety and Ziasha to chase him home.
So maybe you can close things off in whatever bets you are taking on the day and hope for the best when you may need it most. And that's the last race, number 10, horse number 6, Captain Arrow, going to be the pick for Graham. And he's given us some confidence there, suggesting that that could be the banker in Jackpot 2. Graham, that is it. We got our 10 races carded. But over to you, and your suggested bets would be coming up on screen right now. It's on screen.
So that's the bipod. The second race is the first leg of the bipod, off at 12:35. We're going numbers 11 and 12, Tap Shoes and Diamond Bomber. The next leg, banker number 2, Master of the Desert. I know there are only 6 runners in the third leg, but we're putting in 4 of them. 1, King Palace, 2, Navy Strength, 3, Damio, and 5, Give Me More Time. Then for me, the nap of the day in race 5 is number 6, Courtly. He's a banker bet for me in all bets, not just the place accumulator and the bipod. Not so race 6, we're going the field, all 9 runners. And in the final leg of the bipod, numbers 1, Beware the Bomb, 2, My Sensation, 6, Scarlet McCaw, who appeals to me as the top choice in a competitive race, and number 9, Polynomial. So that's the bipod. I do think that Candice Bass-Robinson's going to have a nice day. I've taken a 3-horse All to Come with her runners in the first race, Major Master, third race, Master of the Desert, and last race, Captain Arrow.
Races 1, 3, and 10. Graham has declared his hand, the Candice Bass-Robinson treble, along with the bipod and a few of the other suggested bets that he's given us along the way, where he's tried to minimize the spend with cutting down and reducing the number of runners. So we thank him for his time. Thank you, Graham Hawkins, and wherever you are playing on Saturday, I'm sure you'll be in between channels, or Turfantine and Hollywoodbets Durbanville, but it looks like a very exciting day, so all the best to you.
Thank you, Dees, and as always, thanks to you and the team there at the Gallop TV studio.
Okay, on behalf of Graham Hawkins, Gallop TV, myself, Dees Dine, and to you, the valued racing fan, it's Hollywoodbets Durbanville that we have just previewed. All the best, and have a blast, find all the winners, and until we meet again, you take care. Salanigas.